Dr. Alex Mercer had always thought that his life as a xenobiologist would be ordinary. He had spent years studying alien flora and fauna, cataloging creatures that no human had ever seen. Yet, nothing in his experience had prepared him for the day he landed on Zalara 7, a remote planet that glowed faintly under twin suns. Its landscape was unlike anything he had imagined. Towering crystal formations stretched to the sky, rivers shimmered with liquid light, and the air seemed to hum with energy. Alex adjusted his helmet, checking his instruments. "All right, Alex," he whispered to himself. "Just another research mission. Just keep it professional." He smiled nervously, knowing full well that professional or not, curiosity always got the better of him. As he moved deeper into the alien forest, he noticed the creatures around him. Small, floating jelly-like beings darted between the crystal trees, emitting soft pulses of light. They appeared harmless, yet Alex approached with caution. His scanner detected unusual pheromone activity, and he frowned. The readings suggested something much larger was nearby, something intelligent. Suddenly, a shadow passed overhead, blocking the twin suns. Alex looked up, and his breath caught. Above him hovered a creature of immense size, wings spread like translucent sails. Its eyes glowed with a soft, golden light, and its presence was overwhelming. It was the Xylar Queen. The Queen descended slowly, her movements graceful but commanding. Alex froze, unsure whether to run or remain still. He could sense her awareness, a strange connection that went beyond words. The Queen's antennae waved gently, sensing him, studying him. For a moment, Alex thought she might attack, but instead she paused and regarded him with curiosity. Alex swallowed hard. I'm Dr. Alex Mercer," he stammered, hoping she could understand him. "I come in peace. I'm here to study your world, not to harm it." "You are unusual," it said. "Your presence is unexpected, yet not unwelcome." He couldn't help but be awed. She was magnificent, a creature of elegance and strength. He reminded himself that humans had a lot to learn from beings like this. As Alex took careful steps forward, he activated a small recording device. "This is incredible," he muttered to himself. "Nothing in the archives could have prepared me for this." Alex had been examining a cluster of bioluminescent flowers when he accidentally triggered a pheromone release device he had invented to measure alien scents. A cloud of fine mist filled the air. He coughed, waving his hands, and the mist enveloped both him and the Queen. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But then he felt a sudden, intense awareness, a biological response that he could barely understand. His instruments went haywire. The Queen's antennae quivered, and she emitted a sound that his translator struggled to interpret. It was joy, pure, radiant joy. Alex froze, panic rising in his chest. "Oh no, this wasn't supposed to happen," he muttered under his breath. He realized with horror that the biological interaction between the pheromones and his human biology had somehow triggered the Queen's reproductive system. He had somehow impregnated her. The Queen looked at him, her golden eyes shining with happiness. "This is delightful," she said, and for the first time Alex felt both fear and confusion. "You have given life. That is valuable." I have to warn someone," he said, fumbling with his communicator. "This is diplomatic disaster territory. Someone will think this is hostile." Despite the panic, a small part of him was amazed. The Queen, one of the most powerful beings he had ever encountered, saw humans as valuable, as partners, perhaps even as equals in unexpected ways. He spent the next hour carefully collecting more plant samples, his nerves still on edge. The Queen followed him without interfering, occasionally emitting tones of amusement. Alex realized that she wasn't just tolerating him, she was observing, learning, and even enjoying his presence. As the sun began to set behind the crystal mountains, casting long shadows across the glowing landscape, Alex finally dared to speak again. "So, you're really not angry?" he asked. The Queen lowered her massive head to his level. "Anger is unproductive," she said. "Curiosity, creativity, and courage, these are productive. You have all three. That is rare." For the first time since the accident, Alex felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps this wasn't entirely a disaster. Perhaps humans could find a place here, even in the most unlikely circumstances. Night fell, and the twin moons rose over Zalara 7, bathing the landscape in silver light. Alex set up his temporary camp near a cluster of glowing trees, careful to respect the Queen's territory. She hovered nearby, a silent guardian, her presence both comforting and intimidating. Alex sat by his equipment, reviewing the day's data. His heart was still racing, but he began to notice something remarkable. The queen's joy wasn't just biological, it was genuine. She admired humans not because they were strong or fast, but because they were clever, resourceful, and capable of surprising even the most advanced species. For the first time, Alex understood the essence of HFY. Humans were fragile in some ways, but in others they were extraordinary. Their courage, curiosity, and adaptability could influence worlds, even alien civilizations. He closed his eyes for a moment, breathing in the alien air. "Okay," he whispered. "This is going to be complicated, but maybe, just maybe, it's also the beginning of something incredible." He had come to Zalera 7 to study alien life, but he had become part of something far greater, a bridge between humans and the most powerful beings he had ever encountered. As he lay down to rest, he thought about the future. There would be challenges, political tensions, and cultural obstacles. But he also knew that humans had something the Xylar didn't: unpredictability, creativity, and the ability to turn even accidents into opportunities. The night passed quietly, the alien forest humming with life. Alex slept lightly, aware of the Queen's presence, feeling both fear and awe. He didn't know what the coming days would bring, but he felt a strange sense of excitement. For the first time in his life, Alex felt truly part of something larger than himself. Something that celebrated humanity not just for its strength, but for its spirit. And somewhere in the depths of the alien hive, the Queen smiled, her thoughts filled with joy for the life growing inside her, and for the human who had accidentally given it to her. The adventure was only beginning. Alex woke to the soft glow of Zalera 7 twin suns filtering through the crystal canopy. His mind was buzzing with the events of the previous day. He had survived an encounter with the Xylar Queen, accidentally caused a reproductive reaction, and somehow gained her approval. The enormity of the situation weighed on him, but he also felt a strange sense of purpose. Humans were known for their cleverness, and maybe, just maybe, that was what the Queen had recognized in him. As he packed his equipment, the Queen appeared nearby, hovering with graceful elegance. "You rise early," she said through the translator. Her voice carried a melodic quality that seemed to resonate with the very air around them. Alex gave a sheepish smile. "I guess I don't sleep well when I'm on an alien planet, under the watch of the most powerful creature in the galaxy. I don't know if I've influenced anything yet," he said honestly. "I've mostly been trying not to get myself killed." He had never considered that humans, fragile as they were compared to the Xylar, could inspire admiration in an alien civilization. Yet here he was, being praised by the Queen herself. She gestured with one massive claw, and a portion of the hive opened before him. "You will see more of my world today. Observe, learn, and participate if you can." Everywhere he looked, Xylar workers moved with precise coordination, tending to glowing plants, maintaining the energy conduits, and communicating in complex patterns of light and sound. It was clear that the Xylar society was advanced beyond anything humans had imagined. And yet Alex noticed something important. Despite their technological prowess, they valued logic and efficiency over creativity. Patterns repeated, routines dominated. Humans, by contrast, could improvise, adapt, and find solutions in unpredictable situations. He realized that this was likely why the Queen found him so intriguing. As they moved deeper into the hive, Alex was introduced to the Queen's advisors. They were imposing figures, taller and more intimidating than he had expected, with segmented exoskeletons and glowing eyes that seemed to pierce his thoughts. They regarded him with curiosity, some even with skepticism. "This is Dr. Alex Mercer," the Queen announced. "He has contributed to our understanding of life in ways we did not anticipate. Humans may be unpredictable, but we are also adaptable, creative, and curious. I didn't mean for the incident with the Queen to happen, but it has given me the chance to learn from you, and I hope to contribute in return." One small victory, but an important one. The Queen guided him to a chamber filled with glowing flora. "Here, we cultivate life that sustains our hive," she explained. "Observe closely. Perhaps you can offer insights from your human experience." He carefully touched a leaf, and his instruments detected subtle vibrations. "These plants respond to sound frequencies," he said aloud. "On Earth, we've seen similar behavior, but not at this level of complexity. Perhaps they communicate through vibrations as well as light." "That is valuable." The Queen and her advisors exchanged a series of tones, their interpretation translating to cautious approval. "You see," the Queen said softly, "humans think in ways different from the Xylar. Your creativity is a gift." Adaptability, ingenuity, and the willingness to take risks, these were traits that could influence entire civilizations. Their exploration continued, and Alex observed more of the hive's inner workings. Energy flows pulsed through conduits, carrying information and power. Workers communicated with rapid flashes of light, coordinating tasks with perfect timing. Despite the hive's efficiency, he noticed areas where small human innovations could improve processes. At one point, a minor problem arose. A conduit's energy output fluctuated unpredictably, threatening to disrupt the entire system. The Xylar workers paused, unsure of how to respond. Alex stepped forward, examining the conduit carefully. Using a simple tool from his kit, he adjusted the flow, stabilizing the energy. The advisors observed silently, and the Queen's eyes glowed brighter. "You see solutions where others hesitate," she said. "That is human strength." The hive, for all its technological superiority, relied on logic and routine. Humans, by contrast, could adapt and innovate in ways the Xylar found remarkable. As the day progressed, Alex was invited to observe the Queen's court. Other Xylar nobles, regal and imposing, were present, discussing the future of the hive and its expansion. They glanced at him occasionally, some with suspicion, others with curiosity. The Queen addressed the court. "This human, Alex Mercer, has proven that unpredictability can be a strength. He has shown courage, intelligence, and insight. Perhaps his species has qualities that can benefit the Xylar." "Are you suggesting humans could be allies?" Cultural differences, misunderstandings, and political tensions could arise at any moment. The Queen seemed to sense his thoughts. "Do not fear. Your role is not to dominate, but to inspire, to show that humans can contribute in ways others cannot. That is why I am overjoyed. You are not a threat. You are potential." He realized that this was not just about survival anymore. It was about building bridges, about demonstrating humanity's value in a universe that often underestimated them. Later, as the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the crystalline landscape, Alex and the Queen returned to a quieter area of the hive. He watched workers tending to bioluminescent gardens, their movements precise yet lacking the spark of improvisation that humans brought naturally. "You see," the Queen said, "humans bring what we cannot. Creativity, unpredictability, courage, these are your gifts. That is why life, even when accidental, can be celebrated." He had come to Zalera 7 expecting to study alien life, but he had become part of something far greater. The Queen's joy at the accidental pregnancy was not about biology alone. It was about recognizing the value of humanity itself. He set up his temporary lab for the night, reviewing the day's data. Every observation reinforced what he had already begun to understand. Humans had qualities that could influence even the most advanced civilizations. Their courage, creativity, and ability to adapt under pressure were unmatched. As he drifted off to sleep, he thought about the journey ahead. Challenges would come, political intrigues, cultural misunderstandings, and perhaps even threats from rival species. But he felt ready. Humans had survived worse, adapted to impossible circumstances, and thrived against odds that seemed insurmountable. And somewhere deep within the hive, the Queen rested, her thoughts filled with joy for the life growing inside her and for the human who had accidentally given it to her. She saw in him a symbol of hope, of potential, and of the remarkable qualities that humans could offer to a galaxy that often overlooked them. The adventure was only beginning, and Alex knew that his life and the future of humanity in this corner of the galaxy would never be the same again. Alex woke to the soft hum of the hive, the walls pulsing gently with energy. His body ached from the long day of exploration, but his mind was alert. He had learned much about Xylar culture, their technology, and their society, yet he knew he had barely scratched the surface. The hive was a marvel, but it was also a complex web of customs, hierarchies, and unspoken rules. As he stretched, the Queen appeared, hovering gracefully above him. "Today you will see more of the challenges that face our hive," she said. "And you will see why your presence matters. You must act, or you will not understand the full scope of your value." Holographic displays showed simulations of the hive's defenses, energy flows, and expansion plans. Alex marveled at the complexity. Patterns shifted constantly, lights flickering in sequences that were almost hypnotic. The Xylar worked in perfect synchrony, but there was a rigidity to their methods that made him wonder how they would respond to unpredictable events. One advisor approached, antennae quivering. "Human," it said, You may offer insight, but understand that our strategies are precise. Errors can cost lives. Look here, he said, pointing to a sector where energy lines converged. If an external threat were to disable this node, the hive's defenses would fail. Your system assumes predictable attack vectors, but if something unexpected happens, it could create a cascade of failures. On Earth, we face unpredictable disasters and adapt quickly. If you incorporate flexibility, even small, into your systems, you could prevent catastrophic failure. And adaptability is what humans offer that the Xyler cannot replicate naturally. As he worked with the engineers, he suggested minor adjustments to the energy flow network, creating redundancies that could absorb shocks without collapsing the system. The Xyler implemented his suggestions cautiously, and when they observed the simulations, the results were promising. Failures that would have crippled the hive were now contained. "You see," the Queen said, "your presence changes the outcome. Humans are small in body but vast in potential." A faction of nobles, proud and conservative, began questioning whether the Queen's trust in him was wise. One of these nobles approached Alex while he examined energy conduits. "Human," it said, its tone sharp, "your presence here is controversial. Many believe you may disrupt the order of our hive. Why should we trust you?" "Humans are different, yes, but difference does not equal danger. I may think differently, but my goal is to help, not harm. You have the choice to observe my actions and judge based on that. Unpredictability is why humans survive. On my planet, unpredictable challenges happen every day. We adapt, we find solutions, we overcome. That is why the Queen trusts us, and if you allow me, I can help you adapt as well." Another small victory, but the tension was palpable. He knew that not all Xyler would be convinced so easily. Trust had to be earned, even when one already had the Queen's favor. The rest of the day was filled with observation, consultation, and problem-solving. Alex noticed inefficiencies that the Xyler had overlooked, simple adjustments that made processes smoother and more resilient. At each step, he was careful to explain his reasoning, demonstrating logic and creativity. During a brief break, the Queen hovered beside him. "You see their doubt," she said. "It is natural, but their doubt does not diminish your value. In fact, overcoming doubt proves your worth further. We often have to convince others that our ideas have merit, especially when the ideas seem unusual." Sensors detected an approaching swarm of predator drones, autonomous machines from a distant sector, capable of devastating the hive if unprepared. The Xyler immediately began calculations and simulations to defend against the drones. Their standard procedures were thorough, but Alex could see a problem. The drones' attack patterns were not entirely predictable. The Xyler systems assumed regularity, but irregular maneuvers could create weak points. Alex stepped forward. "May I suggest a strategy?" he asked cautiously. The Queen's eyes glowed. "Proceed." "Use decoys to confuse the drones. And most importantly, allow your response units to adapt rather than follow strict routines. Humans think differently. That difference is valuable. You have saved the hive today with your creativity and courage." As night fell, Alex returned to his quarters, exhausted but exhilarated. He thought about how far he had come in just a few days. From panic and fear, he had become a trusted advisor, valued not for brute strength, but for his ability to think, adapt, and act. The Queen appeared beside him once more, her golden eyes glowing softly. "You have done well today," she said. "But challenges will continue. Not all will accept your presence. Some will resist. Yet even resistance can teach you if you watch and learn. Do not underestimate the value of small actions. One idea, one decision can change the course of many lives. That is human potential." His accidental contribution to the Queen's life had become a bridge between species, and now his ideas were saving the hive itself. He lay down to rest, the soft hum of the hive lulling him to sleep. Outside, the bioluminescent plants glowed faintly, and the energy flows pulsed steadily. Alex knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, but he also knew that humans had a way of meeting challenges head-on, of finding solutions where others saw only obstacles. The Queen watched over him, her thoughts filled with hope and anticipation. She saw in Alex not just a human, but a symbol of potential, courage, and ingenuity. And she knew that the child growing within her, the first human-Xyler hybrid, would embody the very best qualities of both species. Alex drifted into sleep, dreaming of what lay ahead. He had survived the initial trials, gained trust, and begun to make a difference. But the galaxy was vast, full of challenges and opportunities alike. And he, a human, would face them with courage, creativity, and determination, the traits that had always defined his species. The adventure was far from over, but for the first time, Alex felt that humans were not just observers of the universe. They were players, capable of shaping the course of civilizations, respected even by the most advanced alien societies. And somewhere deep within the hive, the queen smiled, her joy not only for the life growing inside her, but also for the human who had proven that humanity's unpredictability, ingenuity, and courage could influence a galaxy. The day began with an unusual tension in the air. Alex Mercer had slept only a few hours, but the hive was alive with a restless energy he had never seen before. The twin suns of Zalera 7 cast long shadows across the crystal towers, and the hum of energy conduits pulsed faster than usual. Something was wrong. Alex quickly checked his instruments. Alerts flashed across the interface. A large external storm, a plasma storm from a neighboring system, was headed directly toward the hive. Its energy waves were unpredictable and powerful, strong enough to disrupt communication networks, damage structures, and possibly harm the life within. Alex's heart raced. He had studied storms before, but this was no ordinary atmospheric event. This was a cosmic force that even the advanced Xyler could not fully control. He knew that traditional Xyler procedures alone might not be enough. The Queen appeared almost immediately, hovering above the main observation deck. Her massive wings shimmered in streaks of golden light. "Alex," she said, "the storm approaches. Our systems are struggling to compensate. You must act." He had survived alien politics, interspecies misunderstandings, and threats from autonomous drones. But this was bigger. This was a natural force, powerful enough to test the limits of the hive itself. He stepped forward, studying the holographic displays. Energy flows were fluctuating wildly. Conduits risked overloading. Vital life support systems for the hive's bioluminescent gardens were at risk. The Xyler workers were operating efficiently, following routines, but Alex could see the rigidity in their system was a vulnerability. He took a deep breath. "We need to introduce flexibility," he said. "We can't just rely on preset routines. We need mobile defenses, real-time adjustments, and contingency paths for critical energy flows. Humans do it every day." He also recommended rerouting excess energy from non-essential areas to stabilize critical conduits. The Xyler workers hesitated at first but followed his instructions. Alex coordinated the adjustments in real time, explaining each step and why it mattered. He used simple principles: predict the storm's patterns but also prepare for the unexpected. He improvised pathways for energy to flow, creating redundancy that the Xyler had not considered. The storm hit. Plasma waves tore through the upper atmosphere and bolts of energy struck the hive's exterior. The entire structure trembled. Lights flickered. The air vibrated with raw power. Alex's stomach tightened as he watched the systems strain under the storm's force. Then he saw the first shield move into position, intercepting a wave that would have overloaded a major conduit. Another followed, diverting energy away from vital systems. His human logic, paired with quick observation, allowed him to direct resources faster than the Xyler protocols alone could manage. The Queen hovered near him, her wings creating shimmering currents in the air. "You act swiftly," she said. "Your thinking is unlike any Xyler. Humans are remarkable." The Xyler workers followed his lead, adjusting shields, rerouting power, and repairing critical points. At one point, a massive plasma surge threatened the Queen's chamber directly. Alex saw it on the monitor. Without hesitation, he directed a group of shields to form a protective barrier, while another team rerouted energy to reinforce the structure. The Queen's eyes glowed with admiration as the wave struck, harmlessly deflected by the shields. "Your human thinking has saved lives today," she said. "Not only mine, but the lives of all in the hive. You have proven that ingenuity, not strength alone, determines survival." Humans were fragile compared to the Xyler in terms of physical capability, but they had an edge in creativity, flexibility, and quick decision-making. This was the essence of HFY, the ability to survive and thrive against seemingly insurmountable odds. By the time the storm subsided, the hive had sustained minor structural damage, but nothing catastrophic. The Xyler began assessing and repairing, their efficiency remarkable, yet tempered by the adjustments Alex had implemented. The Queen moved beside him. "You have done more than survive this storm. You have contributed solutions we could not have discovered ourselves. That is why humans are valuable. I didn't think a human could do this much on a planet like this, he admitted. But it seems unpredictability has its advantages. Even in the face of natural disasters, you have proven your worth. They adapted, improvised, and found ways to overcome challenges that others considered insurmountable. That same spirit had allowed him to contribute meaningfully here. Word of his actions spread quickly through the hive. Even the nobles who had doubted him began to acknowledge the value he brought. One of the skeptical advisors approached him cautiously. Human, your solutions, they were effective. Perhaps there is merit in human unpredictability. Perhaps your species has value beyond novelty. Later, as the twin suns set and the hive settled into a calmer rhythm, the queen summoned him to a quiet chamber. Bioluminescent plants glowed softly, and the air was filled with a gentle hum of energy. "You have faced the storm and helped the hive survive," she said. "Your courage and ingenuity are remarkable, but there is something more I wish to share." "What is it?" he asked. The queen's eyes shone with warmth. "The life you have helped create within me, it represents more than biology. It represents hope, partnership, and the potential of humans. Today, you have proven that humans can influence even the most advanced species. Your creativity saved lives. Your courage inspired others. Your presence strengthens the hive. The galaxy underestimates your species at its own peril. That is what makes humans extraordinary." He realized that the accident that had brought him here, the unintentional pregnancy, was no longer a source of fear or embarrassment. It was a bridge, a connection between species that allowed humans to be seen as valuable, not just in curiosity but in contribution. Outside, the energy of the hive pulsed steadily, stabilized by the adjustments he had suggested. The storm had passed, but the lessons remained. Humans were not just observers of the universe. They could act, adapt, and shape outcomes in ways others could not anticipate. Alex lay down to rest, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced one of the greatest natural threats the hive had ever encountered and helped save it. The queen's joy and admiration filled him with a sense of purpose. Humans were small, yes, but clever, adaptable, and courageous. That was enough to make a difference. Somewhere deep within the hive, the queen rested as well, her thoughts filled with pride. She thought of the life growing inside her, a symbol of unity between humans and Xyler. And she thought of the human who had saved the hive with ingenuity and bravery, proving that humanity's potential could shine even in the most alien of worlds. Alex closed his eyes, ready for whatever the next challenge would bring. The storm had been conquered, but the galaxy was vast and full of surprises. He knew that with courage, creativity, and human adaptability, nothing was impossible. And so the adventure continued, stronger than ever, with humans proving that even against the most overwhelming odds, their ingenuity and spirit could inspire, protect, and shape the future. The hive was calm, yet alive with a gentle hum, the kind of quiet that comes after a storm has passed. Alex Mercer walked through the crystalline corridors, observing the Xyler workers returning to their routines. After the plasma storm, the hive had sustained only minor damage, and every system he had helped stabilize was functioning perfectly. The sense of accomplishment was immense, yet Alex knew that this was only the beginning. The queen appeared, her massive wings shimmering softly in the bioluminescent light of the chamber. "Alex," she said, her voice melodic and serene, "you have faced storms, threats, and skepticism. You have proven that humans bring value in ways few beings can comprehend. Today, the hive recognizes it fully. I've only tried to apply what humans have learned through centuries of survival and innovation. I didn't expect the hive to accept it so fully." The hive sees that now. It embodies the qualities that humans bring to this galaxy: creativity, resilience, and courage. That afternoon, the queen summoned the hive's council for a ceremony. The grand chamber glittered with crystal spires, glowing softly under the twin suns. Xyler nobles and advisors assembled, their eyes flicking toward Alex with curiosity and respect. The air buzzed with anticipation. Alex stepped forward cautiously, aware of the weight of the moment. He had come to Zalera 7 as a xenobiologist, expecting to study alien life. Instead, he had become an advisor, a contributor, and a symbol of humanity's potential. The queen addressed the assembly. "Today, we recognize the contributions of one human who has shown courage, ingenuity, and resourcefulness beyond what we expected. Alex Mercer has demonstrated that humans, despite their physical fragility, possess qualities that even the most advanced species can admire and learn from. Alex felt a flush of pride, tempered with humility. "I thank you," he said, his voice steady. "I've only tried to help, using what humans do best: think creatively, adapt quickly, and face challenges with courage. I hope this can strengthen the bond between our species. Humans are no longer outsiders. You are partners, contributors, and allies, and the life growing within me is a testament to that unity." After the ceremony, Alex walked with the Queen through the hive's bioluminescent gardens. The plants glowed with life, their growth healthier than before. The storm had tested the hive, but it had also revealed the value of human creativity and adaptability. "You have shown courage and intelligence," the Queen said softly. "But more than that, you have inspired others. Even those who doubted you now see the potential of humans. Your species has survived for millennia not because you are the strongest, but because you adapt, innovate, and act when others hesitate. That is why humans are remarkable." Alex continued his research, offering insights where human ingenuity could enhance efficiency or resilience. The Xyler worked alongside him willingly, eager to learn from his perspective. Skeptical nobles had softened, acknowledging that human unpredictability could complement their precision rather than disrupt it. Alex also spent time with the Queen, discussing not just hive matters but the potential of the human-Xyler union. They spoke of cooperation, exploration, and the child growing within her. It would be the first of its kind, a symbol of unity, strength, and shared potential. "The child will embody both species," the Queen said one evening. "Strength and precision from the Xyler, creativity and courage from humans. It will represent a new era for our civilizations. Your actions, your presence, have shown that cooperation and mutual respect can achieve more than isolation or suspicion. That is why I am overjoyed." Using his knowledge of adaptive systems, he proposed solutions that allowed the hive to be more flexible, resilient, and responsive to unexpected events. The Xyler engineers implemented his ideas with caution, but the results were undeniable. Energy flows became more stable, vital systems more secure, and minor disruptions could now be corrected automatically. Alex had proven again that human creativity was not just useful, it was transformative. News of these successes spread throughout the hive, reaching even distant sectors. Other alien species began to notice the human presence and the growing reputation of humans as clever, adaptable, and reliable allies. Humanity, once underestimated, was now seen as a species capable of shaping the course of civilizations. One evening, the Queen took Alex to the top of the hive, where the twin moons reflected off the crystal spires. The view was breathtaking, a panorama of glowing gardens, pulsing conduits, and bustling life. "You see what we have achieved together," she said. "Humans have proven themselves. Your species brings what the Xyler cannot: creativity, courage, adaptability. The future of our alliance is bright because of you." Humans were small, fragile, and underestimated, but their ingenuity, courage, and adaptability had earned them respect across the stars. "I never imagined I'd be part of something like this," he admitted. "But now I see that humans can influence the universe in ways we never thought possible. And this is only the beginning. The child growing within me will be a symbol of unity, a bridge between our species. Together, humans and Xyler can achieve more than either could alone." Their courage, creativity, and resilience were no longer theoretical. They had saved the hive, earned respect, and inspired cooperation. Weeks passed, and preparations began for a celebration to honor the alliance between humans and the Xyler. The hive was adorned with bioluminescent banners, energy patterns danced across the crystal towers, and the council gathered to recognize the union. Alex stood beside the Queen as she addressed the assembly. "Today, we celebrate not just survival, but the joining of our species. Humans have proven themselves to be courageous, adaptable, and innovative. They are partners, allies, and friends. And the life growing within me represents hope, unity, and a shared future." Later, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. From the accidental encounter with the Queen to surviving the plasma storm, from navigating political skepticism to proving humanity's value, he had learned that humans could thrive anywhere, even in the most alien and advanced societies. He turned to the Queen, who hovered gracefully beside him. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for trusting me, for showing the value of humans, and for allowing me to be part of this. I hope we can continue to build something lasting." And together, we will shape a future filled with cooperation, respect, and shared achievement. The Queen's joy, the Hive's respect, and the life growing within her were testaments to what humans could achieve. Survival, ingenuity, and influence, even in a galaxy that often underestimated them. Alex knew the adventure was far from over. Challenges would continue and new threats would arise. But humans had something unique: creativity, courage, adaptability, and with those traits there was nothing they could not face. The Hive thrummed with life around him, and the Queen hovered close, her presence radiating pride and hope. Alex smiled, knowing that humanity had earned its place, not as spectators, but as contributors, partners, and respected allies in the galaxy. And somewhere deep within the Queen, the child grew, a living symbol of unity, potential, and the remarkable qualities of humanity that could inspire civilizations across the stars. The journey had begun with an accident, but it had become something far greater, a story of courage, ingenuity, and hope, a true testament to the spirit of humans, whose value could shine even in the most alien of worlds.